representing Islam, despite the spread and despite the power that was spread in the world. Surely not everyone who is considered a Wahhabi or a Salafi is violent. But in my view, Wahhabis themselves, or Salafis themselves, if they like to call that, they themselves are victims, ضحية. They're victims for those who told them that Islam is all that you know, and that Islam teaches you hate against other Muslims who disagree with you, and that Islam tells you that because you consider what others do maybe bid'ah, maybe an innovation or a difference in opinion, that is a reason for you to hate them, belittle them, and look down at them. That intellectual terrorism that you were taught made you a victim of your own faith. This intellectual desertification, if you want to call it. So we brought the desert and we've had tasahhur fikri, intellectual desertification. We wanted people to think in a very simple, it's one way, that's it, it's ritualistic, do it that way. That intellectual desertification that's exclusive, that thinks anyone who does not believe like them has a doubtful Islam. That's the fikr, or that's the school today that's being exploited most in the scenes of violence in the name of Islam in the world today. Because all these acts of violence, unfortunately, they all resort back to that school. So there has to be some revisionism, so you don't remain victim of that. Islam is much bigger than a nomadic Arab desert school that is exclusive to one understanding. Somebody says, look, today after 9/11 especially, and after the emergence of ISIL and all that relationship with Salafism or Wahhabism and all that, you're seeing the death of Wahhabism. Or Salafism will die eventually. It's dying. And don't you see that there hasn't been any war on the Mawlid this year like usual? Usually around the Mawlid time or the prophetic birth commemoration time, usually there used to be wars all the time. You are mushrik, no, I'm not mushrik. You are mubtadi', no, I'm not mubtadi'. You are kafir, you know the whole story. And many argue that, look, this year, many actually Salafis went to say it's permissible to have a celebration of the prophetic birth. In fact, I've just received a couple of 3-4 weeks ago a fatwa from the head of the Al-Amr bil-Ma'ruf wa Nahy an Munkar, the Hay'a in Mecca, Al-Ghamidi, Shykh Al-Ghamidi, to say that it's okay to celebrate Valentine's Day, not just the... No. He says this is a social thing. It's a social thing, it's not a religious thing. Oh, is that what people say about the Mawlid as well? It's a social gathering. So they say then Mawlid is no longer kufr and shirk, you know. And the problem with this is, in my view again, is there needs to be academic revisionism, not just change of rhetoric to make the rhetoric soft. That takfir that was ingrained, that tabdi' that was ingrained, that calling other a mushrik or erecting walls of hate, suspecting the hearts of other people, that needs to have a proper academic revisionism. Not just saying good words. Saying good words, that's lip service. And I think we need to have that, and we need to encourage academic revisionism for our brothers. Because it should not be just cosmetic surgery. And the Muslims, also Muslims everywhere, obviously because the presence of our Salafi brothers and Wahhabi brothers is everywhere in the world in general, and it's very prominent. We need them to look into things in a revisionist way and go back to the book and the authentic prophetic sunnah, rather than an intellectual desertification of the minds of young Muslims, to turn it into a desert rather than a Jannah of ideas. That's where the minds ought to clash, not the hearts. We can't also afford to wait until they mature intellectually and academically on all that intellectual terrorism that has been spread for the past decades. I don't want you to think, again, I'm trying to take take a cheap shot at them. Like I said, I have learned from many of my Salafi shuyukh. Allah have mercy on their souls and bless them and grant them Jannah. Yeah, so you don't say Sufis are the same, in the sense that today, for the first time, for the past few years, I start hearing about takfiri Sufis. If you disagree with them, they call you kafir as well. It's sort of, what's the difference? That's Wahhabism, brother. Slanderous, I've met them in the West especially. They turned the Sufism, which is supposed to be ihsan or tazkiyah, into a cult practice. And if you disagree with them, you're slandered with the worst kinds of slander. But that's not usually not reflective of most of them. We have not heard Sufis being involved in actual terrorism or violence anyway, most likely. And what I mean by tasawwuf, to me, I mean ihsan and tazkiyah and the Junaidi Ghazali tasawwuf that's best. That's based on the book and the sunnah. To me, La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah is very, very precious. That kalima tayyibah is very precious. So everyone who says La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah is a Muslim, so long there's no negation of it. That earns all my love and all my respect, no matter how much I disagree with on the details. So therefore I love the Muslim who calls himself Wahhabi and Salafi. Though I'm accused of being Sufi, and which is an honor I will not deny, or an honor I can't claim, and an accusation I will not deny. But I love that. If a Muslim, he calls himself Salafi, I love you, brother, even though I disagree with you. Under Islam, within Islam. And I love the Muslim who calls himself Shi'i, even though I disagree with him theologically. And I love the Muslim who is Ibadi. We call them Khawarij. We and the Shia both call them Khawarij. They don't like to be called that way, and it's probably unfair anyway. And they're the majority of the Muslims in Oman and southern Algeria. They're good people. And I love them also. They're not Sunnis, nor are they Shi'is. But I have only love and respect for them, though I disagree with them on creedal issues, just like with our Shia brothers, just like with the Wahhabi brothers or the Salafi brothers, just like with the Mu'tazila. Even if these issues are unsolvable, irreconcilable, so long we are within La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, I have all the love and the respect for them as Muslims with full rights and privileges. I will never erect walls of hate or preach hate against them, irrespective of what. Yes, sure, we will disagree, and it becomes very heated, academic disagreement. And I claim that as a Sunni Muslim who follows the Imam Shafi'i, for example, school, etc., that I think that I am righteous in the sense, in my views, and in the sense, Allah Ta'ala is the judge. You say La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah and you don't negate that, hey, you have my love and respect. I don't believe in cultism, and I refuse to turn the religion to reduce our grand faith into cults, whether on this side or that side or any side. And we ought to all refuse the abuse of faith to make one community of faithful of Muslims hate another community of faithfuls of Muslims, let alone killing them and commit violence against them. That's evil. I actually have love not just to Muslims, I love all humanity, regardless of their background, faith, ethnicity. It's all under the takreem of Allah Ta'ala, when Allah says وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ, which means we have honored and dignified all children of Adam. So that love comes from the takreem of Allah Ta'ala to them, regardless. And no matter how much I disagree with them, with non-Muslims, meaning my brothers and sisters who are not Muslims, I still respect the fact that we are all brothers, and I am a follower of a prophet that came as rahma lil alameen, not just rahma lil muslimin.